Kilobyte here, and the sun just came out. In this video, I'm going to show you how I wash my car, the outside, not doing anything on the inside, just the outside, how to wash it properly so that you don't get scratches and swirl marks. I haven't washed my car in a while, and I drove it in the rain. This may or may not show up on camera, but it's dirty. So we're going to wash it. It's a bit breezy. I would prefer it not to be this windy because it's going to cause the water to dry a little faster than I'd like. But it is an overcast day, and that is the best time to wash your car, is when it is overcast and or low sun, or night would work if you can see. That way the water doesn't dry as fast. But we'll get this done. Things you're going to need, no, not the tripod. You're going to need a couple buckets. You're going to need a car wash of some sort. I am using this wash and wax that I've used for some time and really like. You're going to need a soft sponge and clean. This is going to be for the paint. This is going to, same one, it's just a little older, is going to be for the wheels. We got this. It is soft. It may not look like it, but it is actually soft. I don't use this on the paint, generally speaking, but I will use it sometimes to get into crevices. And there's a wheel brush. Yeah, I'm not really sold on that. You're going to need a hose, a hose, a hose. It's actually a different day. Just washed it, about to dry it. But it reminded me of one other thing that you may or may not want to have while washing your car. Cora! Cora! Really? She runs away? Cora! And that would be a little 8.5-week-old puppy who doesn't want to be tied up, who wants to get under your feet. Following the directions of the product you're using, in this case, it's 1 ounce for every gallon of water in my wash bucket. And I'm going to use warm water, not hot. I need to be able to put my hand in it, and because warm water will soften up dirt and things better than cold. So a couple things while my rinse bucket fills up with just regular water. You can use grit guards at the bottom of the buckets. They're good to have. Do you need them? I guess it depends on how dirty your car was to start with. The sponge, you can use a sponge, you can use a microfiber cloth, whatever it is, it's just got to be soft and it's got to be clean. And when you use it, you don't press down on it. Don't drive the dirt into the paint. I showed you I used the actual car wash. Do not use dish soap. That will remove the waxes, and it doesn't have like a pH balance. You don't want that. When rinsing, we're rinsing this off to soften any dirt that is on it. We're using the spray, the shower setting. We are not using jet. We're not using a pressure washer. We don't want to drive the dirt into the paint. We want to wet it so that it softens. We start at the top. Start working our way down, getting everything wet. Get the wheels, get inside the wheel wells, and just start moving around the car, get everything wet. Using your clean sponge or cloth, microfiber cloth. Yes, you can use cotton, just be careful with it, make sure it's clean and you're not pushing hard. Soap, get it nice and wet, soapy. Start at the top. We're going to do the top, from here to the back, and do the trunk. We're going to go front to back. Do not do swirls. Swirls will leave swirls. There is a place that requires moving a different direction, just move in a different direction using a straight line, you know, follow whatever, like right here. I'm going to do this because that's the way it needs to be done. Watch your decals so you don't pull them off with your sponge. You may notice this is drying out. It's not good. Sponge in the rinse bucket. So it's drying out fast because of the wind and the sun. That is why you don't do it at this time. But it is what it is. Rinse bucket, sponge. Don't wring this out. You dip it in the water and stuff. Don't wring it out in the bucket, the rinse bucket. Any of the dirt, you're just getting more dirt in it. Rinse it out over in the grass. Now that it's been rinsed, more soapy water. We come to the other side. Soap. At the same time you do the mirrors, I recommend getting the windshield wipers. Now we rinse them off. If it starts to dry before you are ready to dry it off, you need to hit it again with spray. You need to water it down, keep it damp. It's really hard this windy, and the whole, you know, it was really nice and overcast before when I went to prepare for this. If your windows are not getting clean with the soapy water, use like an e-cloth on them. That'll get them nice and clean. And now we move to the hood. The hood is our next highest part. Front to back. See, it's already starting to dry. You don't want the soap for sure to dry. If it dries after you've rinsed it, it's not as bad. For this next part, I would normally do the front bumper. That's what I would normally do if it was overcast and calm day. I'd do the front bumper and just work my way around. Since it is sunny, coming in from this direction, I say it's partly cloudy. Sunny is coming in this way, and the wind is coming in from this direction. This is what's going to dry off first. So that you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to start here and work my way around and end at the front bumper. Starting at the top, in this case at the side, a very wet sponge or cloth. We start at the top because we go top down. Why do we go top down? Because water runs downhill. What is the water carrying? Dirt. So you got to start at the top, work your way down. Painted surfaces first. Now I'm going to switch to the black plastic. Now, I've got all that done. I'm going to go ahead and wipe here. I'm going to wipe here. Grab the bucket and rinse. I'm rinsing from the top down. Okay, Now I'm going to make my way around the vehicle doing the same thing. This is why I like the clear soap bucket. You can see it's still clean. So now the painted areas, windows, it's all clean. Now we're going to move to the wheels. And yes, my wheels are painted. So what should I use on my painted wheels? Why not car wash? That's what I'm going to use. That's what I always use. Yes, you can buy other products that are for wheels, and they might do better on your wheels. That's something you'll want to look at. But on painted wheels, you can use the same thing you're using up here. Got it nice and wet. Now, it is hard to get into some of these crevices. If you have a tool that'll do that for you, great. A brush can, somewhat. I am literally taking my sponge and going through it the hard way. Each one of these. And I just do them clockwise. Well, in this case clockwise. I do it around the circle so I don't miss one. Now I get the tire. And the brakes. Some people will say to do the wheels, tires first, or to have a separate bucket. But I've already done the paint and stuff. The red paint. Stuff that's going to be more likely to scratch. So I can easily do the wheels here at the end. Now I'm going to go do the other wheels, and finally the tailpipe. The car's been washed, everything's washed. Now using a microfiber cloth with the waffle pattern, I'm going to dry this off. This will dry an entire Miata. You can also use a chamois. This is what I'm using, and we're going to dry it pretty much the same way we did as washing it, just top down. This way it's as clean as possible for up here. Front to back, as much as possible, no swirls. You don't have to push it down hard. If it's windy or sunny, get that side first. With the exception, if you have PPF, paint protection film, it's going to hold the water better than the painted surface. So I tend to do that last. And I'm less worried about scratching the PPF, which is self-healing, than I am about the candy paint, which is not. Do not let your sponge or your drying cloth touch the ground. If it does, it's dirty, don't use it. I've got a few water spots because of this wind and sun. What I would have done if I wasn't doing the video and needed the light after the washing, making sure it was wet, I would have pulled it into the garage where there's no sun and there's no wind, and I could have dried it off much better. Now the wheels, you get the idea. She is now clean and, more importantly, isn't scratched. But here's what I really use this for. Rotors. One of the things I found on this car, if I wash it and then I go park it without driving it overnight, the rotors will rust to the brake pads and it doesn't want to move. So I use a blower. So I hope that was helpful on the about worst possible time to actually wash your car, but if so, please like, subscribe, comment, and if you got any recommendations on like a car wash brand, something like that works for you, feel free to post it in the comments. And no, I didn't touch on a lot of the detailing. but this is long enough. So, thanks a lot. Well, I cleaned the car. Now I got to clean all these.